hope things go.
Yeah, Kindred's definitely a champion that can make you look like a fool if you save the opponents with a mistimed ultimate, or make you look like a god by saving the rest of your team. I really do like those abilities, which reward players for very precise timing.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, we got ourselves in a champion select, and oh look, no Callista for Freeze and no Alistair for High. These are really not surprises for either side here. The question is how much research C9 has done into Hakuho.
No graves for anybody.
No graves for anybody. No Elise either. Rush doesn't seem to really... Well, I mean, Rush would be a good Elise player, of course, but Nidalee feels like the champion for him.
Yeah, they're definitely going to ban that out from Crumbs. See what he goes to next. You know, I probably would suspect a Rek'Sai, but maybe he'll spice it up a little after seeing Dardoch's Nidalee just take over the entire game for Team Liquid. They might want to steal that away from Rush. He's gone back to the champion over and over and over.
Kindred on the table. I think this. I think they are likely to get picked in this game, specifically by Rush, but we'll have to see what these teams actually choose to do. Kind of taking plenty of time on their first pick here. Of course, Ball's the man to pick it. Types in. Goes Nidalee. All right, yeah, that makes plenty of sense. So Rush will get his Nidalee yet again. Second first pick in 2 games, actually, here in North America.
Yeah, and really, he has every single time jumped out to an early lead through power farming, invading the enemy jungle, you know, grinding out his CS lead. It just comes to the point in the game where he needs to coordinate the plays with the rest of the team, and he's still kind of on that solo mentality where he wants to go use his advantage, and he recognizes that he can beat someone 1 versus 1 and tries to go create that conflict. But this is, you know, LCS, and teams collapse very quickly, and the enemy teams have been able to punish him for it fairly frequently so far for the beginning of the season. And man, if you let a team that has Poppy and Ryze on it punish you in the mid game, and Ryze at the state that he's in right now will just take over.
Yep. People that learn Ryze tend to be very, very good at the champion, and LCS players tend to learn champions pretty in-depth here. Next 2 champs come through, though, for Cloud9. It's going to be Sneaky on Lucian, and the Morgana comes through, which is almost definitely going to go to High, but we occasionally see her played in solo lanes by people like Marin or Pobelter.
Yeah, could be a flex pick. As you said, though, highly probable to go too high, especially since High has had a little bit weird of a champion pool for support and a little bit limited. Morgana already being played for them, though. I think that was his very last game last week.
Renegade's no hesitation in their next round, though. Rek'Sai did come through, as you mentioned, for Crumbs. Freeze is going to be on Caitlyn here. Seeing her be a lot more popular in the recent couple of weeks, she's kind of escalated in priority here. Freeze will definitely going to put the damage out, and he's got a huge front line in front. Even Ryze is tanky to a decent degree, so Poppy and Rek'Sai sowing havoc, and Ryze and Caitlyn doing plenty of damage from behind.
Yeah, this Poppy is going to be either a jungle or support Poppy, so it'll be a little bit more squishy, but it's always great to have a double front line to soak up. Oh, actually, no,
yeah,
just kidding.
Ryze can go mid.
Ryze is going to be, or I mean, Poppy is probably going to be top there because Alex is more likely the Ryze player for the team. They haven't had RF really on the big carry champion.
Yeah,
I guess
he
the
played
most
a
close
game,
would be Kennen.
But that was for engage more so than damage, really.
Yeah, they're probably saving their last pick for him. So yeah, it will be solo lane Poppy probably for him top. So they will have the big beefy front line to try and catch spears and bindings and protect Freeze. Freeze has had really good positioning, so don't expect him to be caught by a stray binding.
Meanwhile, the last 3 champions picked up here for Cloud9. They've given Fiora over to Balls here in the top lane. Definitely an aggressive champion. And Orianna here in the mid, so plenty of teamfight power as well to put it all together. And the last pick comes through, and it will be support Poppy as Quinn comes in.
Yeah, super flex here. They are keeping Cloud9 on their toes. And it will be, as I said, the support Poppy can be a little bit more squishy, but man, this really opens it up. They are definitely putting on RF on a champion with which he can take over the game, with which he can have a very big impact. Quinn definitely has a very good matchup against Fiora, one of the few champions that can actually try and punish her early. And then the biggest thing about Quinn is if she is able to punish Fiora early, then it punishes the entire map. Because whenever Quinn goes out of sight, out of vision for your team, you have to worry. She's so fast, has so much move speed. She can gank level 6, she can gank mid lane, she can gank bottom lane, even through just lane gank. So it really does make the other team have to play sort of the guessing game, because you can't even put out enough wards to keep track of her.
Yeah.
She could just go through lanes and pressure everyone else.
And you've got a Rek'Sai who can hop walls and global around the map. You've got a targeted route in this Rise, so definitely a lot of punishment could be coming out from Renegades. I like the comp. We'll see if they can make it work. And you guys at home can tell us if you think it's going to work as well. Head over to Twitter, send your votes in, hashtag C9 or hashtag RENWin to @LOL Esports. Let us know how it's going to be. It's the first game, professional game I should say, of his career here for Hakuho, putting his hat in for Renegades, wearing a fresh bandana here, and we'll see if this can be the lineup that turns things around. Short notice, unfortunately, for Renegades, but here they go, trying to make it happen as best they can, and Cloud9 can maybe break the streak of going 1-1 every single week. Looking for a win on Saturday for the first time all year.
Well, didn't they get it Saturday last week, and then they lost Sunday?
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe. Anyways, they are going to spread out. Cloud9 actually all going top side, so maybe we'll have a delayed invade. Maybe just defensive wards.
Nope. They lost last week on Saturday to TSM.
Okay, so your pattern holds.
I'm right about two things so far that you tried to disprove me on.
I've lost all faith in...
Rift Herald can, in fact, only be picked up by the team that killed it.
True. It is true. He's also Donatello. Also true. All right. Well, they are going to go for that delayed invade on the top side. Everybody does hover.
With only 3, though.
Yeah, and they also were seen, so...
Yeah.
If something goes wrong here for Renegades, it will not be for lack of information.
All right, well, wards by C9 will make pretty much sure that they know what jungle start Renegades are up to. Similar wards comes out. Hakuho puts that one down over the Krugs of C9. And looks like RF will be leashing for Crumbs.
Yeah, I actually think Rek'Sai may be the best champion for Crumbs, even though people are banning Elise against him. I feel like he just fits with Rek'Sai so well. Since he's so focused on vision, he also now gets Tremor Sense to be able to work with, plus being able to use her ultimate to get back on the map to farm faster. He won't fall as far behind in farm in the jungle while trying to focus on vision and keep playing the information game for the rest of his team. See if Rush's animation canceling is on point. Route number 1, full combo. Route number 2, full combo.
Hit the buttons.
Almost as
reset.
fast. Get the transformation there from cat to human reset combo.
And a really heavy leash from Balls, who's actually already walking up to the top lane. That's actually faster than normal. But they're really trying to push in a wave earlier than usual. This is an interesting new development in lane swap. C9...
A super fast push here.
You would only do this, I think, either specifically because of somehow Nidalee needs to farm this way, or because you think you can actually make it a 1-for-0 turret.
Yeah, I think it's enabled because Nidalee can farm so easily. Crumbs actually... Rush is going to his weak side to steal away an extra camp. As we said, this is how...
Rush bad for Crumbs. Crumbs does not have Burrow.
He's not going to get a kill here, though.
Yeah.
He's just using a lot of time. I guess he's denying farm time from Crumbs as well, so they're about even. But anyways, this is how, over and over, Rush has been able to grind out leads on the enemy jungler. Steal one camp here, steal one camp there. And Nidalee has such high move speed across the map because of her passive moving quickly through brush, as well as the spam of her leap. Is able to get back in position to farm the correct quadrant of the jungle almost in time.
And so this build's an interesting situation where the lane is already frozen top lane with an extra cannon as well, so it's a really hard freeze for Balls. You can just farm with impunity quickly. Renegades will still knock down bottom outer turret. They were on time. That wasn't actually the game plan from C9, it looks like. But as you mentioned, Rush able to steal away Raptors that he wasn't supposed to be able to get. Hard farming up to level 4 already. But it does allow C9 to get into the laning phase earlier. Just a single longsword for Sneaky's recall as he walks back into this lane here. But it should result in a small golden XP lead for the squad.
Yeah, and even though Renegades froze that wave, because Cloud9 took the turret so early, their duo lane going down bottom already, the freeze denied only a single minion from Sneaky and High. So that early turret take up top really has worked out for the duo. And we'll see if that actually changes anything down bottom, because up top, Balls was able to stick around with that wave. Rush actually going to go help him out as well.
He got spotted. Red buff, good dodge by RF.
Yeah, very necessary dodge right there because Balls already has a very significant CS lead, and RF cannot afford to let them push him off of the big wave that's forming right now.
There is an important interaction between Quinn and Italy, though. Vault beats Pounce really hard.
Vault beats almost everything, actually.
Yeah.
The priority on Vault is huge.
Yeah, well, especially because it's on contact, not compared to Pounce, which has to hit the ground. So you almost always beat abilities like that, and that's going to make it pretty hard for Rush to kill him off in a gank situation. Right now we do have a matched up bottom lane here, but because of the later push by Renegades, Freeze has enough money for a pickaxe, so he's actually up items over Sneaky. That is a small detriment to what C9 actually did from their lane swap.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm really going to pay attention to is, what's going to go on up top lane, because this wave is so big up top. Usually we see more focus on big waves like this. Teams, as soon as a big wave is going to crash, either they'll come up, try and pressure the laner so that the laner can't CS. As of right now, though, RF, he should get all of those minions. If his CSing is on point with the Quinn, she has so many things available to her to easily CS under turret with the passive as well as 2 abilities to execute. And that will be great for him to catch right back up. I think he was able to grab everyone.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be reasonably okay. Bot lane will push back out, it looks like, in the general sense. Top lane, rather. I misspoke.
Yeah.
But 6 minutes in, we're basically at tied gold, tied turrets. And aside from Rush really out-farming, it's a very close game.
Well, yeah, so it's actually interesting because there's a focus for Cloud9 on top side. We've seen this as Rush visited twice up here. And the gold lead for Cloud9 is in the top lane. They've got about 300 lead balls versus RF Legendary. And then, of course, the standard pretty much 300 gold lead for Rush as well in the jungle. Meanwhile, down bottom, Freeze has a big lead for
good shot
Renegades. They get the flash with the ultimate here from Jensen. But really, this is 2 sides of the map. Renegades, they're going to want to play around bottom side. They want to play around Freeze anyway. And now they're the ones with the big wave, but it looks like Sneaky will catch right back up here. So Cloud9 will hold on to a tiny, tiny gold lead.
Still staying close to equal. Now RF has to get away.
Might make it bigger.
Plus level 6 from Rush. Crumbs is around though. Good vault, bit of damage on the balls.
Another, these evasive maneuvers from RF Legendary have been very good. Dodges another spear there. They're able to get out. Crumbs collapses and protects him.
Did have to flash though, so it does at least a cooldown burned, and that's Renegades now missing flash on both solo laners. You would expect Rush to make a kill happen in the next maybe 2 minutes here.
Rush is definitely making his presence felt. Solo laners taking the hit there. As of right now, though, no kills. The extended lane might be a problem, though, for Renegades here, as RF is going to have to make himself vulnerable if he wants to try and soak up some experience. Playing cautiously, and they are defensive warding their own jungle as well. So good job here by Renegades to be able to stay very, very close with C9.
Both AD carries sitting on BF Sword Gold right now, and both of them would want to buy one as their next item here, so we'll see who gets their recall off most conveniently as they're taking away Krugs down here. High wants to steal. Hakuho says no.
It's going to cost them 100 HP.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah, worth the price. We'll be returning soon anyway.
And teleport used by Alex to get back into the mid lane. Jensen did bring Ignite to the TP of this Rise, so he wants the kill pressure. So far has not found it, and honestly, it's allowed Alex to farm pretty safely, even with missing that flash. Walk back in the lane 2 minutes later, still hasn't been punished for it.
I'm actually surprised, there's no wards for Renegades around the mid lane. There's even pink here for Cloud9. They call RF down. Balls does have teleport, though. As I said, Quinn is a lot about, working with the fog of war for your team. You never want to, she's almost like a jungler. You never want to give away any unnecessary information, but she can hide in the fog of war and provide a lot of pressure for your team that way.
Looking to do it now. Rush has to flash away. Good realization that was a requirement there by Rush. But a flash burn now. A bind on a Hakuho. This could be a bit of damage as well, but Alex zones off Jensen.
Throws out the cover fire.
Yep.
Jensen respects it and backs off. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult, though. We may see Alex miss a couple CS as he still doesn't have flash, and there's been a lot of activity around mid. Crumbs is going to come over for that reason. Allow him to move up into the lane and grab the CS.
He's going to lose the ward. So that trinket means nothing. Rush kills away the tunnel. And C9 continues to try to push Alex in. Just doesn't do all that much. Mid lane roughly equal. Top lane actually building a small lead right here.
Yeah, there's also, so we keep track of the gold, but there's also big minion waves building. Whenever we see the small gold increase here, you know, Cloud9 is getting an advantage out on the scoreboard, but there's a large minion wave here that RF should be able to clean up as well. Meanwhile, down bottom, the minion wave is pretty much equal.
Right.
So there's a bit more standing gold on the map for Renegades, but Cloud9 definitely do have the edge, even if every one of these CS is cleaned up, I believe. Very, very close here.
Yeah, it really is.
Really about trading minion waves, and that's why I said at the beginning of the game, there's so much focus. A big minion wave sitting on the map like this is an objective itself. That's a decent pot of gold sitting right there. If they can just pressure RF and force him to miss some of them, then that is a small win for Cloud9. Crumbs collapses though to try and help.
Bit of damage coming in. Jensen 1v1 with Alex. Shotguns to get him out of range, but another Rune Prison lands. Really just puts the damage down, but has to clear the wave. Alex, though, far ahead in mana.
Yeah. He backed off there. I think they did continue to have vision of all members of Cloud9 due to everyone showing in lane, though. Rush was up top. I think Alex is playing a little bit scared because he still doesn't have his flash.
Yeah.
And even though, you know, there's no wards around mid lane, all the members of Cloud9 were showing in lanes.
Yeah.
And Jensen was out of mana. Probably just backed off, though, because, you know, he can't finish the kill. If you can't finish the kill, no reason to overextend.
Typically not. High in the front lines, wants to get some damage. A knockup comes in onto a Caitlyn trap as well, but Black Shield comes in time to keep himself from taking too much damage. Here comes the rest of the team. Crumbs around the wings. Balls did TP in.
Rush is collapsing here on Nidalee.
Comes in through the tri-bush, but it's going to be enough pressure to knock down this turret, it looks like. So even though there's no champion blood spilt, it will be a turret destruction in Cloud9 off a small lead in their bot lane to get the first turret of the game.
Yeah, and this is a result of the big minion wave up top. Cloud9 had that big minion wave. RF decided to try and freeze it at his turret, knowing he's focusing on grabbing all those CS. Cloud9 reallocate all their resources down to the bottom side. So it forces Renegades to make the choice. Do we try and soak up all these minions in top lane, you know, or do we answer teleport? Because their bottom lane got chunked out so hard, it kind of removes that option of, oh, let's answer teleport and try and hold on to the turret. No, freeze is pretty much out of the fight. You can't really hold it even if you do call for the teleport, so they try and take the minions instead, but Cloud9 going to steamroll here. Everybody moves towards mid lane.
What an aggressive
Crumbs
play.
collapses. Will the teleport come in?
There's no Caitlyn, though. It's a pretty big risk. Alex Hitch caught up under the turret, has to flash to stay alive. Ball's taking a lot of pain himself, though. He's exhausted and low on health. There's a knockup, but a three-man shotgun might turn it around. Alex Hitch will get traded back for this one. A 1-for-1. First blood did go to Renegades, but it's 3 turrets to 1.
Okay, Quinn is coming down from top, but as you said, Caitlyn's really far away. It would be a very risky engage there, since Alex is down. And he's out of mana. Okay, no engage then.
Yep. All right, well, both teams had gotten one turret very early in the game because of the lane swap, but then C9, once the lanes matched back up, have gone 2 turrets to 0 and traded kills, so good mid-game for them.
Yeah, that play down bottom was huge. Okay, so Alex does get caught, but since they weren't able to finish the turret first, Balls takes a lot of damage from those turret shots. Great shockwave there from Jensen to capitalize, and Sneaky's able to pick it up.
Ooh. Crumbs nearly got assassinated as well, but...
Yep, his move block already started, so Binding Landing doesn't interrupt, and he's able to slide on back to the turret.
So, lane swap version 3 now. Duo lanes both heading to the top lane here. And it's Freeze trying to knock this one down with plenty of items on Caitlyn. Thing is, Sneaky never recalled off of all these moves. They knocked down bot lane, then took Dragon, then took mid. Then he had to walk to top here. So Sneaky's sitting on gold that he hasn't spent. Freeze is far ahead in items right now.
Yeah, Rush was just able to sneak in a base here to purchase as well. So he's actually able to come up and provide some support. I don't know if it'll be enough. He does get here kind of in time.
Really stay.
They are. Binding Land.
Hakuho takes some turret damage, and he can't do anything. Oh no, he stays too long! Hakuho just kept channeling the ulti, waiting for Black Shield to time out, and just gets killed.
So he either mistimed the Black Shield there. He thought he had the Black Shield timing in his head.
That's a huge
I don't
misplay.
think there's an or to that. I think that's just
a huge misplay.
There's I mean, he could have just kept walking, but anyways.
C9 want this one, but here comes the teleports. 2 people to come in to try to flank on High, who flashes early. And no one will catch this. Quinn can try to go into bird form. Rush buys some time, chunks freeze to half.
That is both teleports down.
Still risky by Rush, though. He's going to get Rune Prison, stays up pretty far. Knocked up, has to flash with it. Here comes RF. A fair bit of damage comes down. Binding is going to go back and forth, getting some damage across, but Rush won't go down. A trade of cooldowns, and C9 stays alive. Now Freeze is low. Sneaky does not have the ulti to poke down Freeze.
They're just trying to pressure right now so Balls can continue to split push. They're not actually looking for... Oh, Jensen actually is.
Jensen flash. Shockwave barely catches Freeze, and that's a huge deal. Jensen takes plenty of damage to the backside, but doesn't quite take the damage. Doesn't quite go down. Rush might, though. No, they turn it back around. This is bad for Renegades. Another kill picked up for nothing, and you mentioned Balls is pushing.
Yeah, I didn't even think they were looking for the engage, but Jensen had the ultimate ready to go. Shockwave gets them a kill, plus the free push down bottom. Balls is going to be able to get that one almost into Nexus. Actually, he leaves it off to try and get it pushed back towards him. And he retreats into the base here. Actually doesn't want to get caught stealing that blue. So, bunch of free farm there for the Fiora. And Titanic Hydra very, very close to being completed. I think he's got it.
He should.
Yes, indeed. Caulfield's on top of it. This Fiora is going to be a problem now. All right, so Jensen comes in, speed boosts himself for the flash ultimate to snag Freeze. And man, here I think Hakuo is actually able to interrupt Rush's pounce. Yeah, with his heroic charge, but Alex is out of mana. If Alex had mana, Renegades might have been able to snag a kill for themselves there. But Rise no mana, Rise no damage.
Yeah. Now RF now getting chased as well. Sneaky's going to get this one pretty easily. Dashes forward, gets the 300 gold. Thank you very much. Shield from Jensen gets an assist. Cloud9 now really ripping apart this mid-game. 6,000 gold up in 16 minutes. Sizable.
I think you get good odds on your prediction of Cloud9 breaking their losing streak on Saturday's streak.
It's true. Sadly for Renegades, though, they have not dropped their loss streak here. It's been a rough couple of weeks for them. You mentioned them continually suffering roster swaps here. They did not have Freeze for a couple of days. They got him back, and it looked close, but now missing Remy is not great.
Yeah.
Kako has made a couple of mistakes here in this game. Can't blame just him for this one, though. Of course, it's been a lot that C9 have outplayed. Now looking for mid lane tier 2, but they've got to respect Rise. Even with the binding, it's still... Oh, it's going to be a big shockwave! Oh, no! 3 picked up already. Jensen's shockwaves have been on point. Rush picks up the 4th alongside Jensen, and wow, this game is just getting destroyed.
Very, very eerie here. Similar to last game. I mean, it's only 17 minutes in. This is about the pace Team Liquid. No, this is ahead of the pace Team Liquid we're on.
You mentioned
Cloud9 have no chill inside the base, taking the inhibitor. Rush has chill, actually. Iceborne Gauntlet.
Ineffective against the Renegades AD carry.
Oh man, they are inside the base already. Inhibitor being down. So Inhibitor being down this early actually forces the pace. Because Inhibitor minions are going to continue to stream into the base, Cloud9 have to keep making aggressive moves. But look at that indecisive movement there from Renegades. Jensen sets up a beautiful shockwave. His shockwaves have all netted kills for them so far. Rush goes in. He gets the reset here too for a very quick exit. Just looks good, I guess.
Was going to live regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Just looks good there. He could have waited around, but man, Cloud9 right inside. This just means, though, they have to keep up the aggressive moves. So we'll probably see them pick up maybe Rift Herald and continue with the pressure here. As otherwise, you know, if they just kind of lollygag, sit around, it will mean that a continuous stream of minions in mid lane for Freeze to try and farm up. We have seen Caitlyn's try and stall this out. Cloud9 actually going to snag the 2nd dragon here before they move over to Rift Herald. Get it.
Yep. Kill credit on the dragon goes to Sneaky. Rapid fire cannon Lucian, great at killing turrets.
And look at this. They've set up 5 pink wards in inventory for Cloud9.
Nice.
They are going to cement their lead with vision control. And they're actually just going to avoid this Reptile that looks like set up their vision first. Maybe.
Oh, Rush gets knocked up, gets pile drived, and he might go down. Black Shield comes in, and somehow he's still alive. That means a trade, and that means a shockwave for 2 more. Another double kill for Jensen. Crumbs on the retreat, trying to run away, but a flash in from Sneaky means he's locked up. Freeze nearly takes down Crumbs as well, but another 4 for 0. 13 kills to 1, and this could be a team not named Immortals winning a game in under 20 minutes. Cloud9 absolutely eviscerating Renegades.
So decisive here. Cloud9 gonna go for Nexus turrets, and that should be the game. Woo.
All the fans of Cloud9 from back in 2013 can look at this game being like, this is the Cloud9 I want to keep watching. 19 minutes, 40 seconds and change. Cloud9 demolish Renegades.
And talking about previous iterations of Cloud9, Freak, this time around they go back to focusing top lane. Balls was able to stay in top side after the lane swap. They pushed it down early. He got the experience advantage, and then Rush made multiple visits to the top side of the map. Even though RF did a good job dodging multiple spears, and they didn't land kills on RF, Balls was still able to get that lead in experience, in gold. And man, the mid lane pushed their Cloud9 very, very quickly ending this.
And Sneaky was part of every single one of those. Perfect score for him, 6-0 and 7, 13 out of 13 kill participation. You mentioned the top lane split push working well and getting that lane set up, but Jensen landed all these shockwaves and he was 12 out of 13, and Sneaky was there to make sure the kills all happened, 13 out of 13 for him. No deaths in either of those guys. Really just very impressive stuff. You mentioned the decisiveness, closed the game out 1942. Hey, let's get 5 pink wards, let's set up Baron. Renegade's like, oh, they're gonna set up Baron. Just getting shockwave.
Man, Jensen really, really making his presence felt in this game. Rush as well. This was the first time we've really seen Cloud9 work with the lead that Rush had.
Yeah.
You know, his early game presence, he was able to snag a small camp here, an extra camp